Am I the a-hole for refusing to help my disabled mother because she plays favorites with my sibling? My mother suffers from a disability and as such is permanently bedridden. I'm the only person who lives with her in the family house. She has support workers who come by throughout the day to help with hygiene and showering. However, I help with absolutely everything else. Cooking, paying bills, errands, organizing home maintenance, checking emails, making her comfortable in bed, shopping, managing investments, etc. I do not get paid by the government to be her carer, nor does she pay me, or in any other real way even show her appreciation. She feels entitled to my help, and it's really a thankless job. As part of managing her finances, I logged into her online banking to notice almost $100,000 was missing from her savings account. And further inspection, the money was sent to my sister. So I asked my sister about it, and she told me our mother gifted it to her to buy a highly spec'd Tesla. I was livid by this. Mother has always treated sister as the favorite. Apart from this gift, she has probably given her over $100,000 in other things over the past few years, which I never got. For example, I had to pay for my first car, whereas she got a brand new one paid for. When I moved to college, I had to pay for it myself, whereas my mother, who is wealthy, paid for her to have a premium unit. I burst into my mother's room, going on about how I'm sick of the favoritism, how unfair it is because children should be treated equally, and how she has never known appreciation for the sacrifices I made to be her de facto carer. For example, I can't leave the house overnight, which rules out all holidays, for example. And it's been like this for 5 years since my father died. Initially, I asked if she had any intention of giving me $100,000 to make up for it, and she said no. During our 30-minute argument, she never directly answered how it was fair, instead asking questions like, "Do you feel like you've missed out?" among other questions. It reached boiling point and she ultimately said, "It's my money and I'll spend it on whatever I want." I said, "Fine, I won't be helping you at all anymore." I have now ignored all of my mother's texts for help over the past 2 weeks. I've heard from my sister she's now looking at full-time residential care due to my lack of assistance, which people in my country do as a very last resort as the residents are neglected, fed poorly, and there's no sense of it being your home. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. Let your sister step up for once. Tell mommy dearest that her golden child can care for her, because you sure as heck won't be. This is what I came to say. Let the golden child have her. She can drive over in her shiny new car. Right, I love how as soon as she stopped doing everything, the favorite one was like, put her in a crappy senior home. Stat. That's the one the mom chose. Not the a-hole. I think you should have just left without the big blowout. However, if she's intent in playing favorites to this degree, she has no one to blame but herself. She can spend her money how she likes, and you can live your life how you want. Take this opportunity and do that. Not the a-hole. I think you should have just left without the big blowout. It took the blowout for mom to finally admit there was no mistake, and Opie is seen as less than her sister. It was valuable. There's no longer any ambiguity. Opie doesn't have to worry there was some kind of misunderstanding on mom's part, or some kind of manipulation on sister's part. Both mom and sister are totally fine with Opie carrying all the burden without any of the thanks. She's right. It's her money and she can do what she wants with it. But it's your life, and that means you can do what you want with that. And you are in no way obligated to spend that life catering to the whim of a woman who treats you like her personal slave. Let your sister sort this one. See how long the sister sticks around when she realizes all your mom's money is being spent on cares rather than your sister. No, she can't. You can't rack up huge bills and force one daughter to do all the labor and then gift the other daughter huge amounts of money. Opie's owed money for all the unpaid labor. If the mom didn't have the money and this was done out of love, sure, but mom has the money and is refusing to pay her caretaker. Next story. Am I the a-hole for removing all of my fiancé's certificates from the wall after he took down my daughter's dog picture? Me, female 34, and my fiancé, male 36, got engaged 2 months ago. I own the house we currently live in, but after he moved in, he started helping out with the mortgage payment. I have a daughter, Ruby, female 12. She adores animals. She had about 7 pets so far in her life. Unfortunately, her dog Tick passed away. He was her closest friend and favorite pet. It was devastating for me as well because he was so precious. As a way to honor him, I've printed a middle-sized picture of him, Ruby's favorite, and put it in a frame and hanged the frame in the living room wall. Ruby was so happy with it, especially since she gets to see him smiling at her when she walks in. It gives her comfort. My fiancé saw it and got upset. He commented on how strange it was to have the dog's picture up on the wall and how much distraction it brings. I felt puzzled because we have all kinds of pictures that were hanging on that wall. He suggested we remove it, but I ignored him. One day, I got home and saw that he's taken it down. Ruby was in her room crying holding the picture. I asked what happened, and she told me that my fiancé took the picture off and told her she's not allowed to have it hung up there. I also told her to keep it in her room if she didn't want to lose it for good. I was shocked. I rushed out and immediately started taking down all the certificates he had on that wall. His doctorate, master's, and bachelor's degrees, and about 4 to 5 other certificates as well. All of them I took down and put it in the bedroom. He discovered what I did and snapped at me and said that it's his house as well and I should respect his input. In my defense, I told him that since my daughter has to keep it in her room, then he too has to keep his certificates in his room according to his logic. He yelled at me demanding that I stop nagging him and acting childishly and spitefully. He wanted to put them back up, but I refused and said that if he does that, then Tech's picture will be put back up as well. He yelled about how I disrespected him at his achievements and treated them as trash and then stormed out. He's been giving both me and Ruby the cold shoulder for days now, saying he won't speak to either of us till we apologize and put those certificates back up on the wall ourselves. Not day home. He doesn't want equal say. He wants a dictatorship. It's clear that he will continue to hurt your daughter behind your back. I will reevaluate my relationship. He told me it's his house too now, so he should be able to have a say in it. I find this illogical because he's only paid 2 months' worth of mortgage, unlike me who put all my savings and sold important items to be able to get this house. He is trying to take over what you have achieved. You need to think hard about what life will look like for you and your daughter going forward is. This is only 2 months in. What is her emotional well-being worth to you? This is so important. It's not just a relationship now. Opie's daughter will remember forever how her mom handles this man. Plus, if Opie dies, do you think this man will take care of your child? Or will he just sell your house, keep the money, and cart your kid off somewhere? I knew someone who had 3 children, owned her own home. 2 kids to 1 man and 1 from previous relationship. She married a father of 2 and he was distant and cold to the non-bio child. However, he wasn't as bad outwardly to the non-bio child as your fiancé was to your child. Not until the mom died unexpectedly at 42, and he told the 15-year-old non-bio kid that he had a month to get out. He moved a new woman into the house and raised his bio children there, and the 15-year-old wasn't allowed to see his siblings. Lost his mom, siblings, and home all in the same month. He lived with a maternal aunt on her sofa for a few years as she had no space for him. Not stay home. He took a picture of your grieving child's dog, threatened her, told you that your house is also his, yelled at you, and demanded an apology. If you marry this abusive man, you and your daughter are going to have a miserable life. Exactly. He's shown her who he is. It's time she makes a decision and drops this miserable man out of her life. Opie, please hear this. There will be many days where you come home and find your daughter crying. Please don't put her or yourself through that. Also, please know your daughter will grow up. And remember that this man mattered more to you than she did, unless you show her that's not true. Sticking around in this scenario may also have an unintended impact on her future relationships. Do you really want her to land in a relationship like the one you have with your fiancé? Next story is titled, Am I the a-hole for choosing to not get involved when my daughter threw away my wife's shampoo collection? I, 39, got married to my wife, Nellie, 36, months ago. I have to say that Nellie and my daughter, her stepdaughter, Megan, 16, never gotten along. They have lots of disagreements, had nothing in common, and it was obvious since the first day they met. But I didn't do anything about it, thinking they'd move past their differences and warm up to each other the longer they spent time together. I was wrong, because once we moved in together, the fights got worse. Nellie would complain from Megan throwing away stuff of hers just because she thought it didn't belong there. It's been basically a mouse and cat game, and I've lost track on who's right and who's wrong. I did try to establish some boundaries to try to bring back peace to my home, and had them agree that each stays in their own lane and not bother each other. Nellie said that I was wrong to think that what Megan is doing is okay, but I told her to let it slide. Nellie has a special type of hair care products for her sensitive hair. Shampoo, conditioner, etc., etc. She put them in the bathroom, but Megan ended up throwing them away, saying that Nellie had no right to store her products in the bathroom because it's not her house. To keep the peace, I asked Nellie to just keep her stuff in the bedroom and take it with her whenever she wants to take a shower, to which she agreed. Last night, Nellie took a shower and forgot her hair products in the bathroom. Megan ended up going in there and then the shampoo collection was gone. Nellie freaked out and then had a fight after Megan told her she dumped them out, saying she already warned her about leaving her stuff laying around in the bathroom. Nellie broke down, and when I said I chose to stay out of this because of how petty it was, she blew up at me. She yelled about how I keep letting Megan get away with bad attitude and unjustified misbehavior. Told me to stop enabling her and start setting consequences for her actions. I told her she should have been more careful knowing how Megan is, so I feel like this was preventable. But she said that she forgot her stuff there. I didn't think Megan would go that far. We had an argument, and that was it. Megan is acting nonchalant despite me talking to her, and Nellie went to stay with her parents, saying I need to step up and do something. Now for the top comments. You're the a-hole here, absolutely. She's your child. You should be acting like a parent. Why would you act like they should work it out when it's literally your house and your child? God, I hope she leaves him. You're the a-hole. Seriously, can you imagine having a partner like this? Not only does Opie have zero control over his awfully entitled bully of a daughter, but he refuses to even acknowledge that there's any sort of problem with her treatment of his wife. Opie is so the a-hole, it's unreal. Stuff like this is how some people get anxiety disorders. You're the a-hole. You need to grow some balls and step up. Your daughter is literally tormenting your wife and you're allowing it to happen. Your wife lives there. She should be allowed to keep her stuff in the bathroom. It isn't a hostel. It's her house. Fix this. You are in the wrong. Man up and fix this. A hostel is a good comparison. I immediately thought of college dorm days and having to carry stuff back and forth in a little bucket. Lol. You're the a-hole. Prepare to be a divorcee. Yep. Opie is definitely the a-hole. Just wow. You are enabling and allowing your child to dominate the situation, act out, and get away with bad behavior. You're not just staying out of it. You're running away from your actual responsibilities. You're the a-hole, big time. And also, grow a pair and deal with the situation in an appropriate manner. Bad behavior should have appropriate consequences. Edited to add, you told your wife she should take her products out of the bathroom and keep it in her room? Like, what? Is this a public restroom? Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for telling my brother and sister-in-law it's good they can't have children? I'm 37 male, my wife is 38 female. We have 2 kids, aged 17 and 4. Neither were planned, but we are happy we have them both. Our 17-year-old has cerebral palsy and is in a wheelchair. He can dress himself, he talks. A bit hard to understand at first, but you can understand him fine if you put a little effort into it. He does great in school and is a great kid. My brother and his wife can't have kids. They have been through a lot of IVF and other treatments, but it hasn't been successful. I know they are both devastated about it, especially my sister-in-law. We were all at my mother's house for dinner the other night, and brother and sister-in-law were telling us about their last unsuccessful round of IVF and said that this might be it, and they probably won't try again. We all said we are sorry about that and that it must be awful. Later that evening, my mom was asking my 17-year-old about his plans for the future, etc. How is school going? Does he have a girlfriend? Does he like any girls, etc.? Typical grandma stuff, lol. My sister-in-law then said, "Can he even date?" to me. My son didn't hear it, and I looked at her and just said, "What?" She then said, "Well, he'll be on your care forever. Do you really want him to bring a woman into that?" I asked her to stop, but my brother said she's just asking a question. At that point, everyone heard us talking. Sister-in-law then said to me and my wife, "I didn't mean to offend you. It's just that a slow child might be too much work on their own, without dating and stuff." I loudly replied, "Our son is not slow, and you are way out of line here." She then said to me, "Relax, please. Jeez, I thought you had more patience since you were raising a retarded child." I lost it and said, "You know what? It's a good thing you can't have children, because you would have been a terrible mother." She broke down crying. My brother called me an a-hole. The headline had me at first, but nope. Not an a-hole. You clearly wasn't in the wrong at all. Harsh? Absolutely. But wrong? Nope. Yeah, I was on the fence until she dropped the R-bomb. Same. I could kind of excuse her initial question about dating, but to then start throwing insults? No. Not the a-hole. She hasn't even done any real research into cerebral palsy and thinks it's okay to just spout off things she doesn't understand. Maybe what you said was harsh in the moment, but she was being cruel and ableist in front of your child. I hate when people talk like the person they're talking about isn't there. I'd love to see the look on Opie's sister-in-law if she heard that my stepdad has cerebral palsy. Not only did he date, he raised me and is a computer programmer who used to work at Intel. Opie absolutely not the a-hole. If that's how she views your child, then she lacks the compassion and patience to be a parent. One of the managers at my old workplace has cerebral palsy. The only impairment he has compared to others is that he uses a wheelchair. Opie's sister-in-law is a massive a-hole. Imagine one of your nieces or nephews being disabled and doing literally no research into it. Our first story is titled, "Am I the a-hole for not wanting to continue fighting for custody of my 9-year-old daughter?" I know the title will automatically have many call me the a-hole, but I'm really struggling with my situation. My ex and I share our daughter 50-50. We do not have the best relationship, constantly in and out of court since my daughter was 1. She married into money, has everything she's ever wanted, more children, multiple cars, etc. But she still wants full custody of our daughter. When COVID started, she kept our daughter, claiming I would expose her. She refused to let me see her or talk to her for 2 months. I of course contacted the police multiple times who did nothing, and my attorney couldn't do anything. When restrictions were lifted, I was reunited with my daughter. Things were great for the first couple of days, but then her attitude changed. She was always sad and crying. Took a while, but my wife and I were able to create a safe enough space for her to share her feelings. Long story short, what she shared made me report it to CPS with a consultation of my attorney. When CPS finally got involved, the investigator found nothing, but my ex essentially blamed everything on me. Apparently, during the time my ex didn't allow me to see my daughter, she had our daughter write a diary of how unhappy she was with me and my wife, how mean and horrible we are to her, what we do to her, all of which are complete lies. The CPS investigator confirmed that's what my daughter said and has the diary as proof. We were being charged with all these allegations and we lost custody. When it was time to say goodbye, my daughter was sobbing, saying that she was sorry for lying. She explained that her mother made her write those things. She said it's easier to live with mom than with me, because if she stopped loving me and my wife, her mom will be happy. Now guys, this is where I'm so torn. I love my daughter, but this has been happening since she was an infant. Her mom makes false reports on how I do all these bad things. I have to constantly prove my innocence in court, drop thousands of dollars in court fees for the judge to always order me to do anger management or parental courses. My attorney says I will have to do a step-up program under supervision to see my daughter again. I have to talk to a therapist, take more courses, get counseling for me and my wife, among other things. This still doesn't ensure that I will be able to see my daughter again. My attorney also says that if I give in custody back, I will have to be very careful with my daughter, because since she made these allegations, the next time mom wants to try something, they will automatically take her away and I could face jail time. I'm exhausted. So tired of this uphill battle for me to constantly get pushed back down. I wonder if it would be easier, not only on me, but my daughter. Eliminating me from her life could make it easier on her. Again, I know I sound like an a-hole. I probably am. I just don't know what to do anymore. Now for the top comments of this post. Not the a-hole. Seriously man, you are not an a-hole for putting yourself first after being defeated against impossible odds. It is too much for you to handle, and there is nothing wrong with admitting defeat and re-establishing a relationship with your daughter at, say, 18, or maintaining one over the internet or phone. Unless, of course, she's being abused by your ex-wife, I don't think you deserve to be judged for giving up on this battle. My hope is that I have established a strong enough foundation with her. I fought for the last 8 years creating this strong bond with her. She knows I love her no matter what, and that our door is always open. Nothing can change what we feel for her. I hope when she is old enough, she will seek a relationship with me. Talk to her and try to explain why you are forced to abandon your battle. Also, be sure to talk to her and not make her feel as if you have forgotten her. Also, if anything could be arranged for visitation, do look into it. P.S. Why wouldn't she tell the court that she was forced to lie and that her mother coerced her to commit perjury? I did talk to her. We all sat down as a family and explained the situation as best as we could. We are waiting to see if mom approves visitation, if she does. She explained that she's too scared to tell the truth that mom made her lie. Her mom explained that if she would tell the truth, they'll lose all their money, their cars, and all of her toys. I have no grounds to give advice or judge you. I'll share my idea and you can tell me back if I'm crazy or an A. Make a pact with your daughter. Keep however many visitations you are allowed and play your wife's games. Tell your daughter how much you love her, but you will step back and stop this war. Every time you see her, tell her how much you love her and keep in touch. In 5 years or so, she will have more power to decide what she wants. Don't disappear from your daughter's life, but show to her that you never stop loving her and that you will never forget her. 9 years old are already smart, and they are aware of things around them. What is wrong and what is right. Make sure that there is no doubt in her mind that you love her wholeheartedly. Keep in constant contact with her, like getting her a cell phone or something, so you can call or chat with your daughter. Give her a plushie or something cute so that she can remember you by. Now for the second story, am I the a-hole for not letting my sister have custody of her bio kids who I adopted? When my sister, Annie, was 18 and I was 21, she got pregnant and had a daughter, Sophie. She developed what we believe was postpartum depression, but was never diagnosed as she refused therapy. When Annie's school started up again, our mother took on all childcare of Sophie. As mom took on more childcare, Annie seemed more like her old self, happy, outgoing, generally mentally healthy. Then within 6 months of Sophie's birth, Annie got pregnant again with another girl, Laura, and the cycle of PPD symptoms, mom taking over, and Annie's mood improving repeated. When Laura was 2 and Sophie was 3, Annie decided to move out of our parents' home, alone, and said she wanted our parents to adopt/raise her daughters. They said no. Annie said she couldn't take care of the girls as she had her own life and being a parent made her miserable. My husband and I already had 4 kids of our own. We bonded with the girls, and we had the resources for 2 more, so we offered to take them in, and Annie let us legally adopt them before moving about 8 hours away. It's been about 5 years, and the kids are doing well. It was a rough start, but we are now a stable, loving, healthy family unit. Sophie and Laura are 7 and 8, and Annie has recently lost her job and had to move back in with our parents. Annie has now asked for custody of Sophie and Laura. I'm writing custody like that because it wouldn't be custody in the legal sense, as she willingly surrendered all legal rights to the girls and can't get them back. We checked with the lawyer. However, Annie wants the girls to live with her. Initially, she said she wanted them full-time and to legally adopt them back from us, which we obviously refused. Then she offered a compromise of alternate weeks, so 50-50 custody. Again, we refused. Given her insistence, we don't even want her around Sophie and Laura, so we've not been going by my parents' house as we typically do. It's been a month of constant badgering, insisting we let Annie bond with her daughters, and allow her to at the very least take them for overnight visits, saying that Annie had PPD 5 years ago, and now she's ready to be a parent. I've responded that we are not babysitters. We are Sophie and Laura's parents. They're in a good place, and this will be detrimental to all 6 kids, and Annie doesn't get to step in now when she never stepped up in the first place. The response from my parents and Annie is that I'm being unsympathetic to her PPD, and I should let her at least have a chance, rather than deem her unfit without giving her a chance to prove herself. Plus, given that we already have 4 kids other than them, Sophie and Laura could probably do with a smaller household, and saying we're being unreasonable for not allowing Annie to bond with her kids. Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole, not the a-hole, not the a-hole, not the a-hole. And please, stand your ground. You have provided those 2 little girls with a stable, loving family for the last 5 years. You are genuinely the only true mom and dad they've ever experienced, and it is so unfair of your sister and parents to expect you to relinquish custody of your daughters, whom you have raised without any support or help from Annie. PPD is totally possible, but even with PPD, had Annie adopted the children outside of your family, not only would she have absolutely 0 custodial rights to them, but she wouldn't even know them whatsoever. Being a parent is not something you get to be wishy-washy about. Not the a-hole. All of the above. Plus, it appears the reason that Annie is now ready to be a full-time mom is that she has lost her job, doesn't appear to have a new role coming up, and is living rent-free off her parents. I've been to this picture show, and this is how it turns out. Annie takes 2 very confused and unhappy children to your parents' house. She plays a mommy for a few months and gets bored. A new interest comes into the picture, usually a man. Annie no longer wants to babysit because she wants to be with her new boyfriend. Your parents ask you to resume your care of the girls. The girls are now emotionally damaged by the abandonment issues, both because their parents, you, left them there and the woman claiming to be their mother has left again. You will spend years trying to help them with these issues. Please stick to your guns. Your daughters are very vulnerable right now, and they need your stability and love. Not the a-hole. You're the parents. She's bored and looking to do a little fun bonding. Protect your kids. She's an aunt at the table at Christmas by her own choices. Exactly this. She only wants the girls around now because she lost her job and got forced back into living with her parents. She has nothing else to occupy her time. As soon as she's able to get back to living her life, she'll dump the kids right back on Opie. No way. You're not the a-hole at all. Those girls already started their life off with a parent that wasn't present mentally and basically gave them up. They don't deserve to have their life be uprooted again with someone so unpredictable. That's just my opinion. Parents that step in and out of their children's lives are the worst. Now for the last story, am I the a-hole for not letting my 8-year-old daughter see her 3-year-old half-sister? Hear me out. I was with my daughter's dad for 10 years. We ended things because he became addicted to crystal meth. About 6 months after we had broken up, he got another girl pregnant. We were still trying to work on things the entire time, and I was obviously furious when I found out he was going to have another kid. The problem here is, he is still on D's, and the woman who is the mother to his other daughter is a legit crazy person. She has gone as far as creating fake text conversations to create rumors about me and my daughter's dad to try and put us against each other. At one point, my ex tried to get clean, and we agreed to try and work on things and try and put this all in the past. I even said I would accept this other kid because it wasn't her fault she was born. But the other mother continued to do crazy things, like stalking me, playing games with the dad that he was the father, then wasn't the father, allowing our kids to see each other, and then suddenly taking that away. She has caused a ton of drama and grief since she came into our lives in 2016. I'm even in another relationship and living with and engaged to another man, and she still continues to stalk me and my fiancé. She talks about us to anyone who will listen, uses texting apps to text us, pretends to be other people from these apps and says that we are cheating on each other, etc., etc. So basically, I want nothing to do with this girl. I suffered a serious emotional breakdown in 2019 because of all the drama/stress, and I have some trauma issues because of everything now. Obviously, I don't let my child go with her dad alone because of the D's. So I am always present. He is constantly telling me that I am a bad parent for not letting our daughter see the other kid. He isn't allowed to have either child on his own, but insists that I let him take our daughter over to the other mother's house, which I am not comfortable with, for obvious reasons. My daughter is almost 8 years old and is a very emotional/sensitive person to begin with. She doesn't understand why she can't see her sister and is starting to take a toll on me and break me down if I should just let them be together. I have tried to arrange something in the past with the other mother, but she again pulled crazy crap, and it wasn't able to happen. So, am I the a-hole, guys? Now let's read the top comments. Not the a-hole. While it sucks that your kids are in this situation, I don't see how you can let your daughter see her half-sister without getting further sucked into this crazy chick's crap. Plus, you have no idea how she'll behave around your child, and you already know you can't trust her dad with her either. She's a hazard, and you have every reason and right to say that you don't want your kid around that. I feel sorry for the half-sister, though. It sounds like she has a rough road ahead of her. Fully agree. You're not the a-hole here. My parents were amazing, and I can think back on relationships that they kept me from as a child that made me slightly resentful, but they had very good reasons for. I just give her what she appropriate context you can, and explain when she's old enough. Not the a-hole. It doesn't sound like you're jealous or trying to punish the little girl. Ultimately, I'm sad because the only two people who matter are the little girls. However, you're keeping your daughter safe. Both your ex and his ex are unstable, and you have to protect your daughter from that. If your ex wants both of his daughters to have a relationship, tell him to get clean and do the work so he can eventually have unsupervised visitation with both. He's the one depriving his daughters by not providing a safe, stable home they can bond in, not you. I love this answer. Not the a-hole. It is not in the best interest of your daughter to be around this mess, and it sounds like the courts already told you that. Does she have a nice relationship with your fiancé? You need to cut the drama out for both of you. Report the other woman for harassment, get a restraining order, whatever you need to do for you to keep her away, then stay away. I've tried to get a restraining order on her before. The judge said it wasn't possible because she isn't threatening physical harm. And that's the end of this video, folks. As always, leave a comment and hit like and subscribe. And if you want more of this content, turn your notification on to get updated on the latest videos. And I'll catch you in the next one. Stay safe.